I'll ever be. Do it.
And we are now live.
Do it. Do it.
Do it till you're satisfied.
Okay.
All right. Well then, I guess we can hit the musica. Nice dance.
Thanks.
Anyways, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of In Our Honest Opinion. I am Will, and joining me as usual is...
I am Marvin, and joining me as usual is...
I am Adam.
Dude, it's the way that Marvin did it. All I heard was... I am Marvin.
Some careless whisper action.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome to... And I hate to break your hearts. Welcome to the last episode of Season 2 of In Our Honest Opinion.
Well,
today we're going to talk about plexiglass. Today we're going to talk... Say that again?
you sound very epic right now.
Yeah.
Do I? Good.
Yeah.
I got to really sell it.
Like in the video, you might be taking a poop.
You see what's behind me? Anyways, it's with the gotcha. Today we're talking about plexiglass. We're going to talk about an iPhone out of nowhere. I want to ask you guys the big question later on: documentaries, and then I want to expand on some other stuff. But before we jump into all of that, Marvin, what do you got to say to the people?
I want to say thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Season 2 has been pretty fun. I've enjoyed my time here. Hopefully they won't recast me for Season 3, like Aunt Viv. That would suck. But if you guys don't want me to get recasted, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and a written text review, because that will make sure that I continue having this job that I don't get paid for. And there's no malice there, because I just don't want to get replaced. Oh yeah, digital hugs.
That's right. And remember, you guys can digitally hug him and keep him fed.
Yeah.
By heading over to inhonestopinion.com, where you can find all the links to everything.
Everything.
So, you found yourself here in the middle of the WTF block, right? And you asked yourself, well, what comments have been dropped? And so I can tell you right now, none that I can see.
Yeah.
So
I have a comment.
Did you?
As of this recording, I may or may not have received Final Fantasy VII Remake Soldier Edition.
Yeah. You're excited for it.
So I'm either really excited or really bummed out.
You were going to say, Adam?
How do you not know?
How do I not know?
Yeah.
It depends on when people listen to this. Is it end of day?
Gotcha.
We don't know yet. So,
good question, right?
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mystery.
So, I want to go ahead and, since we've got no other comments, right, I want to jump into one thing here. Right now, Amazon's catching a lot of flack, right? Mm-hmm. The question isn't so much, right, do you think Amazon's a good company? But let me give you the story first, and then I'll follow up with what I actually want to know, right? Right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic, right? That's the only way to actually put it. So because of that, there are a lot of companies that unfortunately they've had to let go of employees, or they've had to cut down on their hours. Yeah, exactly. And so it's all kinds of bad, right? Some companies have had the opportunity here to pay their employees more. Well, very interesting.
Smashing Pumpkins 1979 music video.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can get it to not be so grainy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you need more light in front of you.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, it is what it is. But Amazon is one of those companies where right now their starting pay is $15 an hour. During this pandemic, they've actually kicked it up to $17 an hour, and then they've offered unlimited overtime to their full-time employees, right? And they've hired a bunch of individuals as well, right? As the world has gotten trapped into their homes, we relied on e-commerce a bit more than usual, right?
Mhm.
So first off, are you guys using any Amazon? Are you guys ordering, delivery to home services at all?
I've used Amazon. I had to order printer ink. Uh, I haven't done any like food delivery because live studio audience and I have actually been doing a lot of cooking lately.
Okay.
Because I'm paranoid about people who are making the food being sick, even though
Yeah.
theoretically I shouldn't get sick because it's going through the digestive system, and I'll just
Yeah.
poop out all the germs.
Yeah.
But it's actually allowing me to kind of hone my skills in culinary arts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
Honestly, I have not really done a whole lot of like I guess mail shipments other than what I was gonna get originally,
Okay.
So it hasn't increased. I mean, it definitely has not increased my my purchasing.
Gotcha. And so for me, I haven't used my Amazon, I think, at all
Yeah.
so far. As far as for shipping items, I definitely visited the grocery store a bit more than what I usually do.
Yeah.
That unfortunately, that's in real life, right? I'm not relying on Amazon. What is it now or whatever? Prime now,
Yeah.
grocery now
Yeah.
groceries.
The last time
Amazon
we tried
to
that
me.
once, and none of like there was some bad potatoes, and it just wasn't the best the last time we tried it.
Yeah. So, either way, a lot of
Oh,
America. Oh, go ahead.
hold on. That Amazon, that Prime Now, do they actually go to like Whole Foods and get the stuff, or
Yes.
what do?
They go grocery shopping
So it's
for you.
like, so it's their Instacart type
Yeah.
of idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was at Sprouts, and somebody that was in a Instacart puller was one of the rudest people that I've ever seen. Like, as far as like blocking you from getting to your produce,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
They're
Like
like, no, this is for my human.
Yeah.
She was super rude.
Oof.
I mean, I understand that she had a job to do. She just
Yeah.
wanted to get in and get out.
Yeah. But still, I
Anyway.
mean, human decency,
Yeah.
which we're going to touch on later on.
Oh, yeah. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was gonna say that's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and I almost just kind of want to mash all of this together because I really, out of everything that we have on our topic list, right? I've got one big thing that's really been irking me. But let me finish with this Amazon thing, right? So a lot of people are relying on Amazon a lot more, right? Amazon by no means is a perfect company. It's just they're not, right? Warehouse workers have complained in the past that working like situation, the setup or whatever hasn't been the greatest. But recently, I guess there was an employee at a factory that tried to start a strike, right, to stop the factory so that way they can close it out, clean it, and then put everyone back to work, right? The strike didn't actually get as big as they wanted it to, and so since then they fired the main employee that was behind it and a couple others, but this is the one that also they've, I guess, released like a letter to like corporate, or not to corporate, but to their staff, right? Hey, we won't tolerate this type of behavior. Should it happen again, we're going to cut you loose. The media has been kind of saying that like, hey, this is kind of abusive, right? It's unfair. I wanted to see kind of your opinion on this, right? Yeah. Do you feel that it's over the line on Amazon's part? Do you kind of sympathize with the employee, or anything else that I might be missing?
I'll let you go, Adam.
I can kind of see it both ways. I can see where this could be very bad for business from Amazon's perspective.
Yeah.
I think they should, if the conditions were that unclean and dirty and potentially with, workers in jeopardy, I think Amazon should recognize that.
Yeah.
But I think the employee should have been smarter, because without a union or anything like that to back it up,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know it's going to get out that it was you, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, those people that went in with them, they probably pointed them out and said, "Oh, well, it wasn't my idea; it was this person's." And everybody probably just folded on that one person, even if it might have been a couple.
Oh yeah, he got sold out quick.
Yeah, and I understand why Amazon let him go, but at the same time, I mean, the one that was here in Ruskin, I guess somebody came down with COVID.
Ooh.
What did they? I mean, yeah. What did they do then? Probably nothing.
I think
they should probably, shut. Yeah, well, they should shut down for like a day or something like that and do a deep clean and realize that, hey, we had somebody here that was sick, or people that might be sick.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to take better care of their employees, and they need to take better care of the people that buy from them, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Marvin?
I mean, you don't agree, I'm assuming?
No. I agree to some extent. I've got a little bit of a rant lined up here, but go ahead.
I'm kind of inclined to agree. It's going to paint terrible, it's going to be a PR nightmare. It could definitely be a PR nightmare, and I mean, yeah, Amazon's really big, so they can probably get away with doing something like that, but they got to take their people are exceptionally important. Did Adam freeze? He's not moving.
No. I'm watching my one cat. I'm pretty sure that she's getting sick.
Uh-oh.
Throwing up right
Gotcha.
now.
He was so completely still.
Yeah.
No. I'm pretty sure that she just threw up.
Oh, gotcha.
And she was making like the baby like noises.
I heard that.
Oh, that's what we heard.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I heard it too,
was,
I noticed Marvin's face
Yeah.
reacted. I was all like, all right, so he heard it. Nice.
It's a haunted podcast.
As usual. I should have known.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But yeah, I think Adam's right also, without a union or anything, that this is he or she, I don't know who the person was. This is actually the first time I've heard about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a target on them. I mean, people are going to be quick to give them up because right now having a job is important. It's big, and people don't want to lose jobs, so they will roll on you if need be, and it sucks. But I think that this is going to be something that we're going to have to look at from both sides, because if these are problems, people are getting overworked right now. And
okay.
I like the analogy of if you have a car, okay? If you don't do anything to the car, run it normally, it should last you a while. But if you tune it, do high performance, and just run it ragged, that engine's going to break down. That car's going to break down. It's just like people. And if you don't treat the people right, if you don't do this, you're going to lose your workforce. And if you're losing your workforce because of this stuff, it's going to be out to the public. It's going to be a PR nightmare, especially with a company like Amazon. People are going to know about it. So it's kind of crazy. They got to kind of look at it from both sides. I can kind of agree with both sides, just like Adam.
Yeah, to tack on with what you're saying, the worst part about this is that the general public is not going to care.
Yeah.
They're going to still order from Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, PR nightmare or not, people aren't going to care.
People,
I mean, they're just going to order.
Convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And it sucks. But
Unfortunate.
That's true.
So I here's my stance on it, right? One, I don't feel bad for the guy. I'm just going to put that out there, cut and dry, right?
Yeah.
Just like you guys were saying, as far as there's no union. Damn right. That there is no there's no union. So because of that, I can't. he took a risk, and he should have known that going in, right? Hey, this could completely backfire on me.
Yeah.
Be aware of that, right? Be conscious of that. I'm not saying that you did the wrong thing. I'm saying that
Be
you
prepared
own
for
it.
the consequences. Yeah.
Exactly. Done.
Accountability.
Right? Also, on Amazon's part, right? The fact that they're like, all right, well, we're going to cut this guy down. I don't think that right now, Amazon isn't well known for perfect work conditions as is, right? But then the thing is that people are home. Yes, people are relying heavily on Amazon, and I'm not saying this to excuse like employee abuse whatsoever, but I think that you have to also understand as an employee there, right? Right now, you're providing a service to America, right? You're to the people that it is heavily relied on amid a pandemic, right? So don't try and be a superhero in the sense of the like, hey, let me go ahead and like shake things up. Like, no, right now people need you. Those people that are standing in those lines that I don't look down upon whatsoever anybody in any industry, right?
Yeah.
The work that you do is important. Standing in those warehouses, I mean, I've read the stories. I know some people who actually work here in Florida for Amazon. Like it's hard work.
Yeah.
And so $15, $17 an hour, like, hey, sometimes that just I think that's a decent paycheck as far as monetarily, but they are working for it.
Yeah.
And so why are you going to try and derail that? The impact that you can make negatively for the people is just, I don't know. It's
because maybe they saw it as their duty to not only protect themselves, protect the other employees in the warehouse, and also protect the people that are receiving those packages.
And that's fair. That's a fair argument. Marvin, this is actually, let me not point it out, but there is, so I was about to give a little bit too much information where people could have actually used that, but there's a local gas station, right? Local, I mean, they're pretty
Run
big.
that back.
Wawa.
You just started. Yeah, you froze up. You sound like Soundwave.
Am I there now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, all right.
I was going to say, you look fine to me, so.
Thank you. I think you look
You're-
fine too.
The audio.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So Wawa, right, is a gas station that we've recently got in the past few years down here, right, in the South, right? They're bigger up north or whatever.
Yeah.
You're big in Pennsylvania and such.
Because they have tasty cakes.
They're a bigger company, right?
Whoa, you just did a shout out to Tasty Cake?
I did.
Did you?
I did. Shout out Tasty Cakes for
There you go.
Yes.
And people do love their tasty cakes. Yeah. So there was a Wawa down here that actually got confirmed, right, that one of their employees was positive for COVID-19.
I heard about that.
They closed down the Wawa for a deep cleaning, right? And then they're testing the employees, right? All of them to make sure that they, everyone gets taken care of. And then because of the impact that Wawa makes on the local community, they're going to reopen it, right, with using staff from local Wawas, right, to make sure that at least it's up and running. Hey, hats off to you, understanding that, like, that is important to the people in that area. I'm going to be honest with you. Some people would say that, oh, no, that's just because they don't want to lose out on the business, right? I actually do stop by that Wawa. And the other day when I saw that it was closed, it was inconvenient for me because I relied on that Wawa to be open.
Yeah.
So I got there and I was all like, oh, this is weird. Why the hell aren't they open?
Yeah.
And then fast forward a couple days, I find out why. And I'm like, oh, well then, cool. Like, I get it. Could Amazon have done something similar to this? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yes.
I don't know. Because think about the amount of product stored in a warehouse.
It doesn't matter.
So they have really
it doesn't
moved
matter. They could have shut it down, and people could have waited one more day for their stupid whatever they ordered, and it would have been just fine.
Yeah. And so I think that it could have been done in waves. I think they could have easily said, hey, this section we're going to shut down while we go ahead and clean. This section we're going to shut down while we clean. This section, and continue so on. I think it's possible.
Amazon
but
has
a
enough
complete
money.
shutdown of that warehouse, I think you'd have more pissed off Americans
Jeff
than you do right now
Bezos?
about the whole situation.
Jeff Bezos is a jackass, in my opinion, as far as the way everything's handled.
Yeah.
And I think you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
As far as his, oh, here, let me do a GoFundMe or whatever the hell
Yeah.
that thing was. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is one of our topics, right? That he said, where was it? He asked for people to donate, right? To, and it wasn't for GoFundMe. I thought it was a
It was for some kind of charity, and
It was
this
a
is
charity
the
of
richest
something.
man. This is the richest man in the world, is he not? Something like that.
He's up
something
there.
close.
Yeah.
Close to it. He's probably
Yeah.
like number 4 or something. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Bezos. I'll get it right next time.
Yeah.
One of the richest men in America, yes, for
Yeah.
sure, or in the world, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think even in that, right? Because again, that is one of the topics on here, right? Where if I read it correctly, and maybe I'm wrong because I did kind of just breeze through the article, he did make a donation as well, but he was asking for others to do it. Now,
Yeah.
is he a little blind as to what's going on? People, again, like we said earlier, they're losing jobs. They're being sent home.
Yeah.
Their hours are being cut short. Can you really look at America and go, hey, give to this
Yeah.
when they're trying to keep their own houses fed?
Yeah.
And they're using his service to do it.
Exactly.
Amazon
still making
supplies
money.
Brilliant,
just-
is it not?
Well-
I mean, it's a brilliant move.
It is, right?
It is
Like,
a brilliant move. It's like, oh, you know what? Please give to my charity. You're ordering my stuff. I'm taking that money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
The guy is an ass.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it, right? So as far as that charity thing, like, I can't say that that's the best. But as far as like, you know, the closing down or the firing of the worker or whatever, like, I feel like there could have been an alternative done for that warehouse. Yes, those employees, the health of those employees is just as important as everyone else's. Mm-hmm. But again, to the employee, and for once, I'm going to play your card here, Adam, right? You're saying that maybe that employee was saying that, hey, the health of me, my coworkers, and in turn the people that we service, right, is so important that we should shut down and clean, right? Maybe that was what he was trying to do. I just don't think that's the case.
This guy definitely had his Jesus moment, yes. However, is there something we don't know? Did he contact HR? Did he say, hey, you know, you guys need to do something. I'm scared I'm going to get sick. Maybe we should close down for a deep cleaning, or even, as you said, do it in waves. I mean, we don't hear that part of the story.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't just a random, hey, you know what? I'm going to see if I can
Strike.
screw with Amazon and strike. I mean, and hit them where it hurts.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the case.
You know, secretly, I hope that that's exactly what it was. I hope he woke up like in a sudden, just like jump, like strike. That's what we should do.
Perfect. Let's go.
Yeah, there was no thought behind it.
It just came to him one night. He was on a vision quest.
Yeah.
He was strolling through the desert.
Yep. What he didn't know is he was talking about his bowling score. He was supposed to strike there,
Yeah,
and he just
Yeah.
totally misread that vision
Yeah,
quest.
he was on peyote, and he thought that, you know, the wolf talking to him was really just his bowling buddy and told him to strike.
So like what? He said something about strike. I said yes.
Strike.
Yeah. I'm in it, Henry. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
So here's one of the things, right, that one of the big things that has actually been like, I've had a few discussions about this throughout this past week, right? And I want to see how you guys feel, right? I am thoroughly impressed with some of the major companies out there and with what they're doing for their employees, right? My examples for you are this, right? Early on, and it's one of the companies that, yes, like we've been huge, like we're fans of it here because we have a lot of their products. Apple Watch shown over there on Marvin's wrist, the tan line on mine, Adam with his. Apple jumped early on and said, "Hey, let's send as many people home as we can, right?"
Yeah.
And for those that in China that were, that were locked down at home a month ago, more than a month ago,
Yeah.
they said, here's an iPad for your kids, you know what I mean, so that way they can do homeschooling or whatever. The fact that they're paying all of those employees, and then when we started closing, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just thought of something. That iPad that Apple gave them was the one that they built.
You take it home with you. Go ahead.
Cold.
Go ahead, just take it home.
Yeah, if you can build it, you can take it home.
Yeah.
And there I am slapping screens to use body frames.
And so what did they do? They increased production.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
That would have been. Anyways, and unfortunate as well.
Yeah.
Let's get that human moment in there. But they sent those people home. The oh my God, I'm forgetting the word. I'm about to lock up.
I was gonna say, what in the world is going on?
I don't know what he's saying. Time
That's
travelers?
the word. So the contractors.
Oh, I thought you said time travelers.
No. All of the subcontractors that they use over at Apple Park, right, and doing work for them or whatever, they also end up sending them home with pay. And it isn't until this past week where now some of those, right, some of the further distanced from them, people are going to feel the impact where they're going to pull back on some of that pay. But the fact that they've still been paying as many people as they employ throughout all of this, right? Hats off to them for doing that.
Yeah.
Orchestrating what they need to for the N95 masks for hospitals. And then I don't know if you guys saw this article, but their design team put together a new face shield, which is one of the nods to the plexiglass discussion that we had in our text thread. But designed and shipped 1 million, right, of these face shields now to hospitals, and they're going to continue to push out 1 million a week that they're donating, right? They took their design team, and granted, this by no stretch is anything amazing, right? It's elastic on a plastic that fits on their heads and covers up their faces. But the fact that they said, hey, what's the easiest, or not the easiest, what's the most economical way for us to ship as many of these things as possible and get them into the people who need them, right, into their hands, without charging anyone for it. And again, paying those workers, I think amazing. Here locally, Spectrum, and we've talked crap about these people.
We love Spectrum. Spectrum is so good.
They're great.
Exactly.
Please, Spectrum, please remove channels from my cable package and increase the bill. It's so good.
I love it.
Please.
I love it.
I love that look on his face. But the fact that this company has set up for all of the homeschooling, they're giving out 60 days, 2 full months of service for individuals that don't have, that service available to them. These are homes that can't foot that bill, and they're installing equipment. They're taking a risk there, putting the equipment in their homes and providing them the service for those 2 months. No strings attached. There isn't a penalty fee for canceling that service after that, right? That's an important impact to communities that just don't have that available.
Those people did sell their souls. I guarantee it.
Is that what you think?
It's like if they don't call them within a certain amount of time, it's gonna automatically renew them for this super expensive package.
Yep.
Well, and it's internet only.
Exactly the cost of one soul. Yes.
Yeah.
So again, it's just
it all goes to Ellen DeGeneres.
I'm impressed with this. I wanted to see that overall, right? You guys have seen enough on the news. You've seen enough, enough companies, right, getting called out, like Amazon or whatever. How do you feel, right, that companies are handling this situation? Not the government. That's a different discussion. How do you feel that, and take your employers into account, right? And again, you don't have to detail what they're doing for you because that's no one's business. But overall, how do you guys think that, companies are handling this situation?
Well, we just discussed Amazon. I mean, it's good that everybody's getting an extra $2.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, there's other companies that have done that. They're giving them almost like hazard pay is what you could call it.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I'm not getting any extra money for putting my life in danger. It's, but I mean, it's good that places are stepping up.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's probably things that could be done more for safety for the employees themselves. I mean, if we really want to get into this conversation as far as the plexiglass,
By all means.
um, I've seen it at Publix. I've seen it at Sprouts. And for example, Sprouts has it to where you the cashier is basically, since people can see this. I mean, you're gonna have to go to YouTube if you want to actually see this.
Oh, I like that.
Cashier.
Plug that.
Okay, so I'm here as the cashier at Sprouts.
Okay.
The plexiglass is right here.
Just
The
my
person's
eyebrow.
head is almost fully exposed.
Yeah.
And I asked them, I said, do you really feel safer? And they said, no, this is ridiculous. I can't wait for them to see that they screwed up.
Yeah.
And even at Publix, I asked them, I'm like, hey, do you guys feel safer with this plexiglass here?
Yeah.
And the cashier said, no, it's ridiculous because I'm still exposed either way.
Yeah.
And I don't see how this is actually going to make a difference. So it kind of seems funny that they're doing this as a false sense of security. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't think it's going to help. Sure, if somebody's going to sneeze, I mean, it's like going to a buffet and it has a sneeze guard. Sure, but there's still a possibility that that's going to go beyond the sneeze guard.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, is it a good thing? No, but I mean, as far as things that companies are doing, I mean, I guess it's good that you're doing this. Companies that can.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of companies that are laying people off, and I think that's horrible. Yes. But I understand if it's a small business, I get it. You know, what are you going to do? Because there's a lot of small businesses, let's face it, that are not going to reopen. They're closed indefinitely, and when they put out their notices saying, hey guys, sorry, you know, hopefully we can come back, you know they're probably not going to come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
restaurants, I mean, that's the worst part about this. It's not only are we losing everybody, but there's going to be a huge economic fallout after this. And It's not just the U.S., it's the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Marvin, same question for you, and then I've got a follow-up as well.
For me, I'm actually pretty fortunate. I know we've had this discussion that I'm one of the essential, quote-unquote, essential employees.
Yeah.
So
good old important Marvin.
Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty fortunate where my line of work and my job, I can work pretty much anywhere, and they've kind of allowed me to do that. So I'm working from home, doing my same duties as I normally do. I have conference calls and all that stuff that I'm able to speak with my colleagues and do all that. And it's just, we're just further apart. My workday hasn't really changed that much. The only thing that's really different is I have access to my smoker, so I can go and like smoke meat as I'm working on like a break. I take a break, check on the meat, come back, continue on. But I don't have any kids, so it doesn't really pertain to me. But some of the people who are not hourly and have kids, even though they're only able to work maybe a couple hours a day because they have kids, they're still paying them for the full day. They're just like, don't worry about that. We got you covered. You're still getting paid for the full day. Don't, you don't have to worry about that. We don't want you to take that on. I got like some extra time put in just in case, like of emergency. They've actually done a really good job of taking care of me. And it's a smaller company, but we're fortunate enough where we have enough business and we do a lot of things that we are able to keep our doors open and keep everything going. I know some people who have, like, business owners, they can't get unemployment. I know some things are having to fold. They're like, I know we were talking in Discord about comic shops are having to close, and a lot of those are smaller businesses that may not be able to reopen.
Yeah. So that was what I was getting at. I mean, it's kind of sad because some of these people, this is their livelihood. This is their their heart and soul, and they're gonna wind up losing their business.
Yeah.
So my question, my follow-up, right, was have you actually had the opportunity to see any of these plexiglass walls
Me?
in person? Yeah.
No, I have not. I actually haven't left the house. Live studio audience, I don't believe she's seen. Have you seen the plexiglass windows at local grocery stores? She hasn't seen them. Yeah, she's only been to one of our local ones since it started, and they don't have any of those. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so, and I'm gonna. I've seen a few.
I've seen them many places. So
Yeah. So I've seen a few as well, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call some out as well. Publix, I think, stupid the way they have it set up, right? When you're putting your groceries on the belt, diagonally, like you have complete access to that cashier. I can spit in your mouth from this point, right? They've got the glass when you're crossing over to where you're going to go actually put in your credit card or whatever, right? I don't feel like that does anything.
Yeah.
Because again, you're exposed in more places than you aren't.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense at all. Now, Lowe's is the only place I've seen it where it actually has been implemented in a way that makes sense, right? They've got their box with their belt or whatever, and it's three-sided, the box, right, to keep that cashier separated from you.
Yeah.
There's the cutout there where the things can slide under the belt, where you can hand the cash or whatever, and then you can still go over to the machine side, right?
Yeah.
And it's a tall box. I'm 6 foot tall, and it had to be at least 4 to 5 inches above my head. So they are creating that safe space all the way throughout. I'm impressed. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying is that Publix and Sprouts, being there, I mean, it was dumb. Not only that, I think these businesses, if they want to go and put up these little barriers, they should go one step further. Stop taking cash temporarily.
And I agree with that, right?
I would agree with that. However, there's a lot of people who may not have a card to pay with.
You're right. So the remedy.
Wait, I can't.
See that. Wait. Hand sanitizer.
Go
like
back.
At every station, because every time they take cash, they can easily then continue their day.
Yeah, that just totally both you guys like bugged out on my end.
Freaked out. What was the last thing you heard?
I made my comment about people not being able to, and then he went to take a sip, and then I heard sound wave, and that was it.
Gotcha. So to reiterate, right?
So I said TS.
Oh, I mean,
shot. It's
easy for you
letter.
to say that because you don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I don't. And, other people, there's ways to get that because you can get a prepaid card very easy.
And to be fair, there's a fee usually associated with that, and that's costing them money.
$4.95.
Money's
Some
money.
People cannot afford that.
I've been in a pinch before.
But if the company is going to go one way, they need to go the entire way. And
no,
you obviously don't know the neighborhood that I'm from.
And I think the solution to that is hand sanitizer for every one of those stations. Because when you're done with the exchange, you clean your hand with hand sanitizer. Done. Problem solved. Who's going to take cash from somebody and then stick their fingers in their mouth?
Me?
Like, that's where the issue gets created.
I can't help it. I'm a child.
Yeah. So that was, again, my remedy to that. The only thing that I don't agree with is that if they're going to go ahead and set up these boxes, or no, that's not where I was going. I'm sorry. What I was saying that what I was impressed with is that also you can see more permanent looking markers spread throughout stores. I've been in Target where they have the, hey, stand here and wait till your turn.
Oh,
and those are
that's
6
right.
feet apart.
That's right. Target. I saw Target had something like that too. With the
Target, Home Depot, they've got lines, made with just tape. Some places have more permanent fixtures, like Target, like Lowe's, even incorporated into their overhead, right? Where you'll hear the announcement come on that, hey, whatever is going on or whatever special or whatever the case is, and at the same time they're going, please be mindful of social distancing, and take note of those around you. And it's all like, it's so integrated now into so many aspects of everything where I'm just I'm impressed with the companies who are actually doing it properly. The ones who aren't just putting up, like Publix, as much as people love shopping at Publix, putting up a little, 2-foot section of plexiglass and going, all right, we did our part.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see
You
that
know?
story I posted earlier about someone getting upset, and I think they spat on the Publix worker?
So I didn't get to read all of that,
Yeah.
but I did see the headline.
Yeah, I did see that, and that's another problem is that people are doing this just to be asses about the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of worrisome that people are doing this specifically.
Yeah, we're having people going into grocery stores coughing on everything on purpose.
Right.
Yeah. What was that? $35,000 worth of wasted food?
Yep.
Yeah, and I saw a story the other day too. A girl, she's 18 and she went and did like a Snapchat or whatever it was, or TikTok or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and said that she was going into Walmart to infect all these people. Of course, she used expletives.
Yeah.
She said, if I'm going down, y'all are going down too.
Wow.
And this was in Texas, and they're looking for her right now. Seriously.
Damn.
She's officially a terrorist because of what she did.
Because of what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Lock her up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Seriously.
I know
Damn
overseas
right.
they're saying like if you cough on an emergency worker, you're getting thrown in jail.
Yep. So, now that I've taken a breath, I'm impressed, and at the same time, I'm not surprised. Whenever you see some of this foolishness, right? Overall, people can get selfish, and I think that it's sad that even when so much is at stake, people are still reckless with it. I don't feel, and maybe this podcast has gotten a little too political at this point here, I don't feel like we're sacrificing freedoms here. I think that this is the request that we all unify, right, to fight for the greater good.
No.
It's me doing my part, maybe not for me,
I'll fight.
but for the person I might cross. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I took everything out of my pocket. No knife for me.
Whoa.
So, ooh, what happened? Did I lose you guys
no,
again?
Adam just like kneed his desk. Tiger
Oh.
knee.
Yeah,
It's a
I
guy.
bumped it. I'm sorry.
You tiger need it?
Yeah. It's a guy.
Yeah,
So,
I did.
next topic. Tiger King. The
We haven't talked about
sensation
this
that
yet?
is...
I thought we talked about this.
This is leading into the actual topic.
Okay.
This is the sensation that is currently taking over
Yeah.
on the internet, right? Or on Netflix, memes. It is, I'm pretty sure that if you haven't heard of Tiger King by now being trapped at home, you're probably one of the ones that's causing this to spread. So, stay at home. Watch Tiger King.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What is
A
a
little
Tiger
nugget?
King?
Yeah.
a little nugget. Yeah, nice. A little nugget for those individuals who are fans of it. Supposedly, Netflix is about to drop another surprise episode this week. So by the time you're listening to this, it might already be out.
I'm curious as to what's
Yep.
going to be entailed.
Yep, because a certain character, Jeff Lowe, said that recently he was interviewed, or he filmed something for it as well. So we'll see, because he's a trustworthy
Hey,
guy.
while we're touching upon that, the Tiger King, apparently it's not going to Netflix, but they're making a sequel show. Woo! I can't wait. They're
To
gonna
see how it all
milk it,
ends.
dude.
Yeah.
They're gonna milk it so bad it's not even funny.
Wow.
They're
It's
gonna
gonna
do
be
the
like-
pandemic.
No, it's gonna be like Making a Murderer over, and
Oh,
they had a stage show where they were talking about it.
yeah.
They had a sequel, like more evidence or whatever. It was ridiculous. After one season, I was done. I don't care about Stephen Avery. Screw it.
So now that you mentioned that, right, the murder
Yeah.
one, my question for you guys is documentaries, docu-series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you into it? Is this one popular just because everyone's trapped at home, or you actually enjoy the content. You know what I mean? Provided to you by a docuseries.
I love docuseries. I watched Don't F with Cats all the way through because it was interesting. Because some of these things are that was one of their other limited series that they've had, and it's just really interesting. Some of the stuff that you hear and learn about, I find fascinating.
Yeah,
I watched the one regarding Fire Festival also, both of them.
I watched both of those.
Yeah.
Yep. And those were two very different experiences.
Yes, they were.
That I enjoyed. Anyways, Adam?
A lot of people don't know this, but the Don't F with Cats was a prequel to Tiger King.
Is that what you think?
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, what's his face? The molded dude was in it.
Joe Exotic?
You don't know his name? Joe Exotic?
That's him.
Hey.
Anyway, if you can't guess by now, I have not watched Tiger King. I don't intend to watch it anytime soon. I'm not a fan of long-form documentaries.
Okay.
I would much prefer a shorter documentary, but as far as documentaries as a whole, I generally do not care for them, specifically because they are generally trying to manipulate your thought process, in my opinion. Like you see one documentary and it'll be on a subject. Well, obviously they want you to think their way. You usually do not see a documentary where it kind of leaves it open, for you to decide. A lot of times they have a standard, yes, this is how I want you to think of what happened. And they'll leave stuff out intentionally. Like, for example, Tiger King, they actually left stuff out. I think I saw like a thing, there's like 10 facts or whatever of things that they left out. So I generally have a little bit of an issue with documentaries.
I usually try
because
to
of that.
Objective stance. I don't.
Yeah, I'm so glad
take
I asked this question. Continue.
Into account from both sides. I mean, I take it as entertainment for what it is. I don't necessarily totally agree with everything. I watched many documentaries in the past, like R. Kelly. Yeah, he did it. I'm not gonna deny it. They painted him in the picture. Yeah, he did it because I feel he did it, and a lot of people say he did it. Flat Earthers, they're insane. I agree. Don't F with Cats. I wouldn't have gone to through the lengths that they did, but it's pretty crazy how they managed to find this criminal who did some of these heinous acts. So I take them for, I guess, sort of like people who love cold case podcasts. I take it for what it is. I don't usually use it to just kind of push me or sway me in a particular direction. I find it as entertainment.
Sure, but there's going to be those people out there that are like, oh yeah, this is what it told me. Yep.
Oh,
this is it.
But that's everything.
I mean, and there's usually more to the story, even if it's like 10 episodes or whatever, the length is.
Yeah, Fox News does it every day. So I mean,
yeah.
It's
there it is.
Series never ends.
I mean, yeah. So
I want to guys. Coronavirus was created by man, and the government's spreading it.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
Thanks, Obama.
It's true.
Yeah. Thanks, Obama. So, one of those
was
things
created
that I do
by
enjoy.
Obama.
Yeah.
Obama and the Chinese, apparently, because it's a Chinese disease.
Oh man.
Good
and
job.
Hillary was in there somehow. I mean, maybe that's what the emails.
It was her
contained.
emails. Her emails were infected.
If they had built the wall and stopped those emails from happening, Obama would have never screwed this up.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We solved it. Maybe we should make a documentary.
Yeah, I didn't see Obama doing anything during 9/11 or
10
World War
episodes.
II.
It can't be a short documentary.
So.
Oh no, it's going to 12 because we're gonna have 2 extra specials.
Wait,
3 seasons.
How many seasons does Game of Thrones have? We're gonna go that. We're gonna go that route.
So here's the thing, right? I agree with what you're saying, Adam, that sometimes the a series, right? They're intended to take you down a certain road. I think sometimes there's a bit of storytelling that goes into that. That can be entertaining within itself. To go ahead and pull from Tiger King, I think that specifically, that one was intended to sell you a certain picture by the end of episode one. By the end of episode 3 or 4, you're shown a different version of that. And by the end of it, then you're seeing a completely different picture, right? Now, for those of us that you were going to say something?
I'm going to say Making a Murderer did the exact same thing.
Same thing? Okay. I've never seen any of that.
I never watched it.
Oh, you should have watched it.
I should have. Maybe I'll watch one season. So the thing is, right, that like for those of, I think for, God, this is going to sound douchey. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to bite it. For those of us who actually can think for ourselves, right, I think that's apparent, right? From the beginning of Tiger King, I was all like, oh yeah, no. So definitely, right, there's nothing here that like that I'm biting into. Like obviously this character, bad. Like yeah. I think that's from the get-go. And then as it unfolds, again, you're taken on a journey. So it's all like, oh, okay, well then, like, I understand what they were trying to do. The people who edited this and kind of gave it that direction. I found entertainment in that. Can it mislead some people? For sure. But yeah. Even short form, hour-and-a-half documentaries can do the same thing. What's this guy that does like Bowling for Columbine? Oh my God, what else did he do? Fahrenheit 9/11.
Oh,
you're thinking of Michael Moore.
Yeah,
Michael Moore. Michael Moore's documentaries are not are not neutral by any stretch. Yeah. There's no way in hell anyone. Not. And I enjoy, right? 3 or 4 of the documentaries of his that I've seen. I've enjoyed them for some of the value that he put into that, right? Yeah. But I'm smart enough to know that, like, hey, obviously, I mean, I'm not like this guy's telling you his opinion. This guy is selling his opinion. He's trying to make it seem that what he thinks is the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Yeah.
So on that, I will say Bowling for Columbine is very entertaining. I don't know if you've seen it, right?
I've never seen
it. Yeah. You haven't?
No.
Watch.
It's very entertaining. The Charlton Heston, where he gets his gun.
Good God.
It's good, man.
It is. It's an entertainment. What is it? 90-minute like series
movie
documentary. But the thing is that like one of those things that I enjoy out of that, right, is that occasionally there are facts presented. You do learn some things out of these, right? And sometimes it sparks enough interest for you to go, let me look into this. And I've seen that. That's happened plenty of times whenever I watch any documentary or docuseries. Because again, just like you said, Adam, it's intended to sell you a certain vision. It's not the news. It's not hardcore facts, right? So because of that, take it with a grain of salt. Like, yeah. I think is the short end of it. I wanted to ask, how often do you, and now that I know that you've watched Don't F with Cats, Marvin, mm-hmm. How often do you go looking for documentary series, or do you just kind of let it pop up?
I'll check the docu-series portion often.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Something you go for. Adam, I guess more so the question for you is that what is it about a documentary that actually sparks enough interest for you to watch it?
If it's a subject that I actually care about, if it's something I don't care about, then I probably won't watch it. Gotcha. And with that said, as far as seeking out a new docuseries or movie or whatever, I do that almost never.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. For me, I don't usually go seeking it out. Whenever like I've got nothing to do, I'd be like, all right, well, let me see if I can learn something today, right? And then I'll go seek something out because again, I'm one of those where when it sparks the interest, if I'm watching something, I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that. I'll start, reading into a little bit more on the background so that way at least I've got a bit more knowledge on the subject, especially afterwards. I like watching, like food documentaries, more so that like, the treatment of animals or how food is processed and carried over. Recently, I watched, what's this guy that did Super Size Me?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Spurlock. Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan, thank you, him. So you remember Super Size Me was big back in the day. They released Super Size Me 2.
Yeah.
Where what he actually goes about and does in this one is that he opens up his own chicken fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
And so what he documented was the process it takes, right, to call your chicken, right, homegrown, grass-fed, free range, like all of those like organic, terms that you see that they charge you extra for, what actually goes into having your product marked that. And it's amazing to actually see how much of that isn't actually, I guess, applicable to that, or what you would think is free range, what's actually considered free range, you know? And that's semantics. One of those that just, what's up?
It's all semantics.
Yeah. So that one specifically, right, I found exciting because free range means that you're supposed to let your chickens out of their like coop or whatever, right? For a certain portion of the day, right? And when you see this huge like barn that he has set up, and then he opens up this like 6 foot like roundabout that's actually open sky that they're allowed to walk to, that's considered free range, even though all of the living conditions on the inside is the exact same as anything else. But the fact that they let them willingly walk up to this area, and some of them don't, but the fact that it's available.
Wow.
Free range.
Wow. Yeah, I think for me. Oh, go on.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say it's stuff like that I find entertaining. But go ahead.
Yeah. For me, like docuseries that I typically go for, I don't really watch like all the serial killer ones. Those don't really interest me. But the ones that are just like weird or interesting, like Tiger King, I went in expecting one thing, came out the total other end. It's like, what the heck did I just experience? Yeah. I watched a lot of film ones, like how the Star Wars, the original trilogy came to be, things that were involved. I watched like the Toys That Made Us. I love watching like things like that, stuff like where they just kind of talk about things where it's not really like a for us or against us type deal. Where it's just kind of educational.
It's more enlightening more so than it is educating.
Yeah, those are the ones I usually seek out. I just want to make sure people understand. I'm not looking for, like, this is a new serial killer documentary. I got to watch it. No, I don't typically do that. But movies that made us, heck yeah, I'm going to watch that. Toys That Made Us, I'm going to watch that too. I didn't really care about the history of Dirty Dancing, but I watched that episode.
Yeah, dude.
So some of the making of movies, I'll give you that they're pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoy that. I think those speak to my interest more than anything else.
Yeah.
But I will say that credit to you because Tiger King was being heavily pushed on Netflix.
Yeah.
No interest in watching. I was like, whatever, don't care. But you said the right words. Yeah. You said you remember that Flat Earther documentary.
Yeah.
And I was like, say less. I'm on it.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, because it was absurd.
Stupidity wrapped up all over.
So speaking of the Flat Earth documentary.
Yeah.
I did attempt to watch it, fell asleep probably within 15 minutes, never went back to it.
It's not for everybody.
I was astounded by the stupidity.
Yeah.
The stupidity of some of those people.
And that's the thing. I can go outside and see that, at any point in time in the day.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't interest me to see it again on like a documentary.
Yeah.
I get it.
Fair. I get it. Yeah. I don't know. I guess more for where are we at on time? I think we've hit about an hour
minutes.
here. So I want to ask the listeners, if there's a documentary or a docu-series that you're watching, let us know, please. I'm interested to see in what it is that you guys want to want us to take a look at. We can carry on those discussions in our Discord because again, this is the end of season 3. I kind of wanted to take some time to say thank you, right, to everyone that's listening. Because you guys have definitely made this a fun ride this season. We've held your hand a little bit longer this time than we did last season. I'm interested to see what happens in season 3. But more importantly, I wanted to say thank you to both you, Adam, and you, Marvin. And again, I'm just going left to right, no favorites here. White power. Just kidding. Adam's face was all worth it. But I want to say thank you to you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Will.
About White Walkers?
The comment was, I don't appreciate it.
Gotcha. We'll make a docuseries out of it. Don't worry. But I wanted to thank you both because again, this entire journey is. It's a 3-parter thing. It's always interesting, and I think in this episode, we kind of got to dive into a little bit more of you guys and what it is that or for all of us to kind of go over what it is that we do appreciate. There is a global pandemic going on, so it's interesting to dive into those thought processes. There's so much I think that it's unique. With each of you, that it's always fun to watch that kind of get thrown into the mix, and that's what makes this podcast fun for me. Yeah. So, thank you to you guys as well. Idaho wouldn't be what it is without you guys. I love you guys for it. Thank you all to the listeners. Remember, guys, you can always reach us at inouronestopinion.com. You can always find me on Twitter at KryptonsWill.
You can find me on Twitter at TheArtfulGent and BuddyTalksPodcast.com. Adam?
As you.
Okay. I was just making sure you were done, man. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Adam_analyzes, AdamAnalyzes.com, and thank you.
So, and then just to make sure, you guys still have your seasons going, so although that there is no T to the WTF block, they still got the...
Oh, no, man. I'm going on hiatus, too.
The woof. Are you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm meet the block.
I'm not. Yeah, Marvin, we should try to keep it going, man.
So it's all on you guys. I know that the listeners definitely do keep up. So thanks again, guys. You guys be safe. Wash your hands. Don't cough in anyone's mouth. Unless they really deserve it. No. Forget that last part. Yeah. Or if they want it. That part, yeah, I'll agree with. If they're asking for it, go right ahead. Yeah. Other than that, have a great night. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, bye.
See you.
Good night. See you soon.